you know, people have been giving me a lot of advice for this, and you know, one of my best mates, Neil, he gave me some advice a couple of months ago, and he said, yeah, my advice to you, Chris, for this set would be to start off with your best joke, finish with your second best joke. He didn't tell me about that. I need to stick a lot more in between it all. But yeah, I got advice off my sister. She messaged me the other day saying, oh, I've just seen that they changed the MOT, the way you do your MOT. They're making it easy so you can see how what's wrong with your car. I'm thinking, that sounds interesting, but this is supposed to be comedy now. But she has come here to support me from Holland, so
Hey!
Thank you. She's sat in the disabled section along with my mum. She broke her hip the other week when we went to Centre Parks. We were playing a game of tennis, and you know, we take it quite seriously. And she was going for a ball, and yeah, she just went over and broke her hip. So it was quite sad, actually. Really. We still had about 15 minutes booked on the court. But I think I won that match by forfeit. But yeah, you know, so obviously it was at the Cumbria Centre Parks we were at, and you know, the staff there, they were excellent in the ambulance, and my mum was saying, oh, you've been really helpful, so they gave her one of those NHS feedback forms saying, would you recommend people that you know to use our services if needs be? So well, it would be quite handy, to be honest, to use it if you've got a broken hip. But yeah, so then I said, I'll fill that in. So I filled it in, and I said, yeah, I know someone who's coming over to Centre Parks in a couple of weeks. I'm going to give them the advice of, well, I didn't actually write exactly all this because it wouldn't have fit on, because it's on a little bit of paper. Just want to make it real. But I did say I'd advise you to get injured by, and you know, when I saw them, I said, go down head first down the canyon slide where it's got all the big signs saying, no head first. Because we did get told by the hospital that people did injure themselves doing that. Service at the Carlisle Hospital is excellent, so we're going to do it. So, you know, obviously you're going to use the best. You're going to use the best hospital. It's like, you know, it's just still a bit mad with Neil, to be honest, with the for setting me up with this, only let me have the 2 jokes and everything else improvised. So it's like when we're all playing football. Right? So when we're over here playing football next Thursday, and like if I'm on opposite teams with him, I might, you know, subconsciously, I don't really want to hurt him, but I might just subconsciously still get mad with him, and I might do a bit of a hard tackle. Maybe he might possibly get injured, and you know, and then I'd be like, I would feel bad if I did injure him, and I'd be like going, Neil, come on, I'll give you a lift to the hospital. So I'd take him, be driving past Burnley Hospital. He'd be like, Chris, why are you going past Burnley Hospital? And I'm going, oh no, when I go in here, I only gave them an average rating. You know, you really do need to see this Carlisle Hospital. Their service is excellent. Plus Neil, it's a 2.5 hour drive there, and 2.5 hour back. I've got a Bruce Springsteen CD in here. Well, yeah, but yeah. So anyway, I just got back from Berlin a few days ago. We went on a stag do for Jimmy over there, and yeah, it was a good do, nice hot weather. You know, it's interesting when you do actually go on a stag do, because a lot of the time you do meet a few people that you don't know, like sort of playing with them a bit, and it's like, I was sat next to his brother on the plane back, and we were about to set off, and he's going, yes, it's a 2 hour flight back, isn't it? And I'm like going, no, it's only 1 hour. He's like, no, it's 2 hours. And I said, no, it was 3 hours here and it's only the 1 hour back. He starts to give me a bit of a funny look. He goes, you do know that the time changes, don't you? And then I'm like, yeah, well, you know, still it's only 1 hour. Like, you know, that's where the same time flies. I didn't know whether he. I think he thought I was being serious, but yeah. But yeah, one of the frustrating things about being abroad is that the mafia mob bosses, they don't really treat you with much respect, really. Hey, look at that broad walking over there. Yo, she's fine. She look at all her curves. She could be my guma. Hey, she's my guma. So yeah, obviously I mean in a foreign country, you know. But yeah, one of the frustrating things about being in a foreign country is you do go over there and you try and make an effort. You want to look like you're a bit cultural, like you can speak the languages. So you obviously I was in Germany, so I go to the bar and I'm like, Guten Tag, zwei Bier bitte, danke schön. And then they come over and then they reply to you and they give you a change and they're like going, yeah, that's €2.50. There you go. And I'm like, come on, humour me a bit. At least try and pretend to make me think that you thought I was German. But yeah, the English though, we do get it harder than the from foreign countries really, because really in foreign countries they only really need to know one proper foreign language, which is English really, because most people can speak it. Where we've got to like learn bits and bats of others, and maybe between all the foreign languages I do know, I could probably just about hold nearly a conversation. But I was the other day, I was speaking to Paul the other day. I was speaking English to Paul the other day, but I got absolutely no response from the Paul, so I just gave the lap dancer another €20. But seriously, in the last few days we have not been in a strip club. Honestly, just want to make everyone aware of that. No, we're in Berlin. No, but I was saying to someone about what I was thinking of saying, and they did refer me to one of our friends, a Polish person, and when they go to Germany, they do speak English with the Germans, and the Germans speak it back to them, because they only really need to, like I was saying before, they only really need to know the one foreign language. So I think because it's like they sort of. You feel like they think that they're better knowing the foreign languages. You don't want to go and just go to the bar and go, Guten Tag, puis avoir zwei pivo dziękuję. They wouldn't have a clue what I'm saying, but I wouldn't do that because obviously I wouldn't get a drink, and I do one. So, a few months ago I was walking. I parked up at Tesco in Burnley, and there's a Timpson's shop that's been put there, and it says on the side of it, keys cup, shoe repairs, phone repairs, watch repairs. I think I've got things to do. I might watch some bad TV, but I'm not going to go in and watch repairs. When I was working on my jokes to try and shortlist down to my 2 jokes and make it onto the set, I did have a joke that I just invented myself. Well, I think I invented it myself, but and I did a bit of market research on it, and I went and I expected a good reaction, to be honest. I went and I said to a couple of people I know, where do spiders sell weapons? on a website. Yeah, so I'm looking at the person around the response that I got, I did expect them to get quite a good reaction. The response I did get was, I don't think really they use webs really. It's not really a weapon, is it? I'm like, yeah, it is. They lay them and they catch it They use it to if it flies to fly into it, and they go and eat them. They go, yeah, but they use it as a home, don't they? Really? Like, so I'm thinking, well, maybe I could maybe say about estate agents, but you know, it's just taken away from the joke. So anyway, you know, so then I went onto Google. We went onto Google and I had a look in to, you know, say googling what do spiders use webs for, and the main thing that they do use it for is to catch flies. You know, so I said, no, I win, that's a weapon. Well, I can't explain the validity of it. But it also said on Wikipedia, so this must be true, that they also that they use a lot of energy spinning the webs. And because they do use a lot of energy spinning the webs, they get hungry afterwards. So a lot of the time they'll go and they'll eat the webs back up. I'm thinking, why are these type of spiders not in my house? They're never clearing up after themselves. So yeah, and like I said, I did expect a good reaction from her, not to my joke to be totally analysed, because this person's favourite joke, which you know he loves to tell to everyone, is, why did the man fall out the window? Because he was ironing the curtains. Yeah, she thinks, you know, that's like hilarious. I'm thinking, so I try not to criticise it too much, that joke, because it's not really very funny. But but it's just like explaining the logic of it. It's like, right, why would someone iron the curtains? I barely even open and shut my curtains, let alone go and iron them. I could understand it if it was like with the blinds, because like me and my sister, we were putting some up the other week, and by the end of it, well, they were very creased. You know, and then it's like, how much further did he have to lean to actually be at an angle to fall? Actually, stand up. No leaning involved there. So, and then like, how weak was this window as well? Did it not have double glazing? Did he get an insurance claim after it? So yeah, you know, so yeah, if you criticise my joke, I'll criticise yours. The second time I told it was actually Professor's when I was, and I told him it. And his response was, I think I've heard that one before from somewhere. And then his second one was, and he wasn't very good. And I thought that he'd love it, because he is the king of bad jokes, to be honest, on his Facebook. He's always putting them on in between, complaining about only averaging 7 hours sleep a night. Like, averaging 7 hours sleep, you should try being single forever. You know, I don't want to send me to bed. Yeah, American Dad and Family Guy, that don't finish until 1 in the morning, so, and then I'm up at 6:30. So, you know, that's bad sleep. But yeah, but it did actually get me thinking though about other, because I think there's only a certain amount of jokes in the world that there possibly could be, like, you know, amount of scenarios. So I'm thinking, like, with the comedians, you know, it could end up being like in the pop charts, where a lot of where comedians will start covering other comedians, maybe take different spins on stuff, like, because, you know, when I was preparing for my 2 jokes for tonight, I was watching like quite a few like episodes of Live at the Apollo, you know, and one of the comedians I saw, Russell Kane, who I found really, really funny. I quite related with a lot of his stuff. He was on about people. How he really struggles to sleep unless he's in an old bed. It needs to be proper curtains closed, black towel curtains, really comfortable bed. He can't, and he was jealous of the people that can fall asleep anywhere. Now I am one of those people that can fall asleep anywhere, and it's not an advantage, to be honest. But you know, I'll be in a work meeting, and it's like, will you wake up? Will you wake up, Chris? You know, I'm like, oh, sorry. Oh, like, well, I'm not even going to go on about all the driving. You know, from Birmingham. And obviously, you know, when I hit the central reservation. But yeah. Yeah, so, you know, I just don't get on too famous. I don't want to get banned from driving. But yeah, and yeah, also as well on planes, I'll always fall asleep. I'll be like, I can be in the middle seat next to two random people I don't know, and I'll play head tennis on the shoulders, just going. I'm just falling asleep. I'll fall asleep. But the thing is, though, it's like, you know, but it's dangerous though, because what about if, like, you know, I get woken up by an announcement, and they're saying like this plane, it's crashing head first into the sea. You need, you know, you're going to need to evacuate. I'd have no, because I'm out of there before they've even given the demonstration. Like, I only know that you're supposed to affix your air mask at first because I was watching an episode of Family Guy. Like, I wouldn't know where my armbands are in my rubber ducky. But you know, I just trust them. Like, I'm usually flying with EasyJet, and you know, so I just trust them. They were, you know, a good reliable airline. EasyJet. That sort of reminds me of something a bit. That's it. So this is the job that you know, send me on to that. About last year, probably around about September, October time, I was walking through Burnley Town Centre, you know, true story, walking through Burnley Town Centre, and I see this bright orange new coffee shop, and it says on the outside, Easy Coffee. So, and I thought, that's obviously about EasyJet, and it was, and it's like saying like low price coffee. And I thought, you know, surely you don't want to go out for a cheap, low-priced coffee. Like, when I go out, I don't want budget coffee. I want a good coffee. I thought, Easy Coffee, that'll never take off, will that? Yeah. I don't know from the reaction if that joke will ever take off. Only when people are really drunk. Yeah, so it's you know, it's been great. It's been great performing here for Burnley at Turf Moor. Like, you know, as a child, I'd be saying to my mum, when I'm older, I'm going to be playing at Burnley, playing at Turf Moor. So it's in a slightly different form to how I expected, you know. But I did dream when I was younger. Like, obviously back then, the standards of Burnley, we were a bit lower, so it wasn't the biggest of dreams. It'd be like what a child would be dreaming of if they played for Blackburn. It'd be a realistic sort of dream. Yeah, so yeah, like, you know, my first scarf that I had, and I still do have it, is, you know, like, even the marketing people didn't have the highest, you know, they didn't want to sell the dream too much. It's saying Burnley, pride of Turf Moor. Well, you know, I think they should be the pride of Turf Moor. Like, we're not the pride of Turf Moor. Like, we didn't even have Fretters as comedy nights here back then. But you know, I did. You know, I was always proud to follow Burnley. And when, you know, when I went to high school, unfortunately, I did get sent to Blackburn, to St Wilfrid's in Blackburn, and you know, long before, you know, people know me as a Panther. Well, long before then, I was, my nickname back then was Burnley Scum. You know, because I was proud to be from Burnley and sport Burnley. And one day, in between their classes, you know, it was like a street because these two schools were separated so we had to walk along the street. And one day I was walking along and I got tripped up by a cricket bat. And so I got up and I said to And I turned around to the person, and I just said to him, I'm sorry about this, Mum, but I said to him, you wanker.
What?
So he punched me. He hit me. Yeah, I'm glad there wasn't too much laughter there because that wasn't the punchline. Yeah, so so then when my mum found out about it that night, she was saying to me, do you know what one of them is? Do you know what one is? And I said no, and she goes, it's a man who plays with himself down there. And I'm like, oh. Well, what weirdos, who does that sort of thing, eh? Strange people. Now I understand why, like, when there's an opposition player that's like being like fouling or diving, and you don't like that, why they'd be chanting it and going like, wanker, wanker. Or like, or like how, like, the referee is a wanker. I don't really swear much, to be honest, but I really hate it. Back then, the referees didn't always just get called that, though. They would get called, they get chanted like, who's the bastard in the black? But that's fine, that's not swearing anyway, because they did wear black shirts all the time then. And obviously Burnley, we're not too keen on bastards. They're always chanting, we hate bastards. And I don't think it's any coincidence that that Burnley are announcing all these record profits when Game of Thrones is doing so well. Because of of their hatred for bastards. I think every time that gets referred to, I think that Burnley getting paid royalties for that. I think if there's a House Burnley on it, I think it'd be heading for a totally different ending. I think that, when they're the Battle of Bastards, we'd just surrounded them all and we'd just kill them all. Can't really think too much into it because I'm not a writer. Otherwise I'd be making a lot more money if I could come up with something more. Anyway, what was that about? Oh yeah, that was the wankers. That's what I was about. It does my head in that when I'm telling a story and then I do actually lose track of when I do lose track of what I'm saying to people. I'll be like going, so I finished work last night. And I got on my bike, and then I stopped, and then someone shouted, saying, "Oh, there's a buffet outside. I'll be straight over to the buffet, and then I'll come back, and then I'll be at home, finishing off my buffet, and then I'll just be sat there, and I'll go, damn it, I forgot to finish about how I fell into the canal." And then jump back in to get my bike light. So anyway, back to the wankers. So if there is one person that in football, that I don't particularly like, is Owen Kyle. I should like him because no matter how much I do dislike him, he was good for Burnley, he did get us promoted, and he was awful for Blackburn, so I should like him really, but I just don't like the way he conducted himself and the way that he left us halfway through the season to go to a direct relegation rival. But so then when he did leave and he was returning in a match against us, I was thinking, what clever song are we going to sing about all his betrayal and everything. So then when he comes out, like the song that is getting sung is, "Oh, and Kyle, and then and it's some sort of thing. It's like, Owen Kyle, he does that. It's like an unnatural thing, and it's like, you sort of grow up thinking obviously I wasn't growing up at that time. I didn't have such a hard knock life, to be honest with you all. But because that was about 8-9 years ago. But so obviously by then you did sort of change, but then it's like, but because it was imprinted in my mind as a youngster, I did think, oh, it's not, it's not the sort of thing that you really should be doing. So probably about 5-6 months ago, just because it's not become a habit, it's just not become a habit really. So because I was talking to some people, and I was talking to a girl, and you're thinking it sounds impressive, and they're going, and you go, I don't masturbate, mate. Like, looking at you going like, what? You don't like some sort of thing. She's like, but do you never watch porn? And I'm like, yeah, I do watch porn now and again. Like, I've watched a bit of Babe Station. and then she's like, well, what are you doing with your hands? And I said, Well, I'm usually just continuing my game on Footy Manager.
Hey!
Thank you, it's been really enjoyable.
Hey!
Thank you.